What's going on, everybody? Hair here, and yes, here we are for UFC 308. This card is super stacked, especially if you're a hardcore. If you're a casual, I think it's still stacked. It has, a lot of firepower in it. Let's just get straight to it. I might do the whole card. Let's do it. It's a Sharputin Magomedov versus Armen Petrosyan. Magomedov, he's the guy that has that kind of, it looks like a lazy eye. They think he's half blind, whatever the case may be. There's been times when they think he shouldn't fight because of his blindness, similar to Michael Bisping, but he's on an absolute tear. He's a scary dude. He's undefeated. I think he just steamrolls through Armen right here, and we're going to keep seeing him climb up until we get the to a title fight. Again, these Russians, these Dagestanians are just taking over their basically in every MMA promotion, not just UFC, Bellator 1. We see these guys just destroying. They all have cousins and uncles and best friends and whatever the case may be, so I think he keeps going. Next, speaking of one, we have Alexander Rakic versus Magomed Ankalaev, and he's one that people are just clamoring at the bit to fight Alex Pereira because he basically has no weakness. He's such a beast on the ground, and he's a big beast on the ground. So usually they're smaller dudes, but he's a light heavyweight, and like I said, he has a tremendous ground game. He has a pretty good striking game too, and he would present a lot of problems for Pereira if they did fight, if he does keep winning, and that's, I think, what Dana White's been avoiding, is having basically an all Dagestanian championship line from the top to the bottom of the weight classes, because a lot of times he thinks, or people think, the casuals, oh, those are boring fights to go to decision, no one gets knocked out, but again, Ankalaev, he's a big dude and he can strike too. Would he want to strike with Pereira? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think anybody does, even though he has been knocked out before. He's just in a class of his own. He's in a league of his own. But Ankalaev, I think, goes through Rakic. It should be a fun fight. I actually think he TKOs him. I don't think he takes him down. He just TKOs him. He's a big, strong guy, and then he calls out Pereira because on the tear he's been on, he's only had one loss, one no contest, and been in an absolute tear in the UFC. Next, we got Ciryl Gane against Alexander Volkov. Giant dude, Ciryl Gane hasn't, I don't think he's fought for a good amount of time right now. He lost that lopsided loss to John Jones, and Rakic has been there. Volkov has been there too. He's been TKO'd. He's given KOs. This is going to be a real fun fight, to be honest. If it's a technical fight, I think Ciryl Gane's got it all day. His stand-up is really good, especially for heavyweight. Very crisp, good jab. If it's a brawl, I can easily see Volkov get down and dirty with him, to do some dirty boxing, some clinch work. But if it's straight up, clean exchange, I can see Ciryl Gane picking him apart. Your co-main event, you have Robert Whittaker versus Khamzat Chimaev. Whittaker got finished by Dricus. Chimaev beat Big Mouth Kevin Holland, and now we're here. I think this is Khamzat's pulled out of so many fights. I think he's, people think he's this end-all be-all world beater, undefeated still, not as active as you'd want him to be. Gave Kamaru Usman fits, again gave Kevin Holland fits. Robert Whittaker's a gamer, even though he's been TKO'd recently. Man, this is a tough one to call. I'm going to say Robert Whittaker gets the upset, even though he's been TKO'd recently, and the machine wants to get behind Khamzat because he's undefeated. But I still think Robert Whittaker takes him down and he beats him up. Even though Khamzat takes everybody down, Robert Whittaker's strong. He's a gamer. I think he's going to be the kryptonite to Khamzat this time. We're going to see Khamzat's first loss. Your main event, we're going to see Ilia Topuria, arguably the best boxer in the UFC, featherweight champ, versus Max Holloway, arguably the best boxer in the UFC. So two of the guys that the UFC or the fans claim as the best boxers in the, not just the division, but the entire roster, they're going to be fighting each other. Now, I would say Topuria's more crisp, but then I'd say Max possibly is faster. So it just depends who lands, who's in their game, who's in their bag better. Like I said, Ilya, I think, is a little more crisp, probably hits a little more harder, tiny bit more precise, but Holloway's faster, and his gas tank is second to none. Him putting down Gaethje is one of the craziest things I've ever seen. That catapulted him to forever stardom, basically. That was one of the most insane things I've ever seen at the buzzer too, and that BMF belt, championship belt fight. Now, this one will be for the featherweight belt. Max Holloway's earned this. It's very difficult for me to see Ilya losing. He's literally in his prime. He's beating everybody. He's made basically second-class citizens of Volkanovski and others too. And but I would never count on Max. And everybody loves Max Holloway. If you were to win that featherweight title, I don't think anybody would be disappointed, besides a lot of the Spaniards out there. But it should be a super fun fight. I cannot wait for this. We're looking forward to it. Hope you are too. This is our